In this video lecture, we are going to see about the 2D array and its matrix manipulation. We can say array is a collection of fixed values that belongs to the same data type or a single data type. In other words, we can say if you are defining an integer data type of for a specific array, all those elements within the array will have an integer values. We can't combine the different data type values like integer, float and character into a single array which was defined as an int. So if you are defining an int, the elements within that array will be integers. Coming to two-dimensional arrays, we can say the two-dimensional arrays as array of arrays. This array of arrays, we can also say it like matrices. Matrix means the first thing we know about matrix is it will have rows and columns. How can we define an array or two-dimensional array or a matrix by using C? Here comes the syntax. Data type, array name. In a square bracket, the first one it is the rows, the square bracket second one it is the columns. So data type, array name, x belongs to the name of the or number of rows and y belongs to number of columns. Here I have defined int my array with 5 rows and 3 columns, 5 comma 3. So my matrix will have 5 rows and 3 columns. This is one way of initializing two-dimensional arrays. So we are having int array 2 comma 3. This 2 comma 3 represents 2 rows and 3 columns. The first row will have 1, 2, 3 values and the second row will have 4, 5, 6 values. In second way of initialization, we can remove the curly braces and we can wholepartly give the elements within a single curly braces. So 2 rows and 3 columns, totally 6 elements we can store. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements too. Out of the 6 elements we have mentioned 2 rows and 3 columns. So 1, 2, 3 belongs to row 1, 4, 5, 6 belongs to row 2. For accessing and printing the elements in two-dimensional, we need two for loops. The first for loop is for rows and second for loop is for columns. So the rows, I already mentioned it was 2 rows. So I less than or equal to 2, j less than or equal to 3 for columns. We have to initialize I is equal to 0 and we have to check whether it is less than or less than 2. Yes, the condition passes and then increment operator, and after that you have to check for the column, and once you get the values you have to print those values using my arrays. So the value of I and j will be passed to I and j here, and then your matrix value will be printed. So next it is the matrix manipulation. C program provides provisions for matrix manipulations, and within that we can perform the basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, transpose and inverse of a matrix. So as usual, we are starting the program by using the header file include stereo.h. Next, the return value of this program is an integer. Since it is a matrix addition, so I have defined it as an integer values. So I have started this program by using the int main. Next, I am defining the number of rows and columns of the matrix. We know the matrix addition, both the matrix will be of the same rows and same columns. So only it is R and C. So only it is R and C, and I have the first element as A100 and B100. That we are initializing the A100 rows and A100 rows and columns, B100 rows and columns. Obviously the sum element will be the same of the A and B rows, so it is a sum 100 and cos 100. Next we are going to enter how many rows and columns within 1 to 100 we have defined already. That was used using this printf statement. So with this we have entered the number of rows is 2, and we have entered the number of columns here it as was 3. Okay. Next, the printf element for first matrix. So I stated earlier, in order to print or scan a 2D array, we need 2 for loops. The first for loops is for rows and second for loop is for columns. So we are getting the values of the Aij matrix, Aij matrix. So one by one, on incrementing the I and j, we are getting the one by one elements of the matrix A. All those matrix elements will be entered here. Enter the element of 1 by 2, it will be 3, like that. Okay, next we have to get the matrices of elements of the matrix B, Bij. So I am here getting the values. So the first matrix value was in first row, it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3 in second row. In B matrix, the first row value was -4, 5, 3, second row 5, 6 and 3. So we need to add the values, and the resultant sum matrix will have 2 rows and 3 columns, since both the matrix A and B will be 2 rows and 3 columns. So on adding the first element of A row and second element of B row, we will have 2 minus 4, it is -2, and second element of the first matrix, it was 3 plus 5, it is 8. So here the sum matrix, here the matrix, it is the sum matrix is equal to the first element is equal to the first element of A matrix added with the first element of the B matrix. So that only I have written the code like this. So sum of I comma j, I represents the rows and column, j represents the columns. The rows and columns of the sum matrix is equal to the addition of row and sum plus A matrix plus B matrix. So in order to print the statement, as usual, 2 loops, and the resultant matrix here, it was sum of I comma j, so here it is also sum of I comma j. So this j is equal to C minus 1 represents if the first row of this particular sum matrix has been calculated, it has to go down to the next row. So for this row, okay, if it is completed, printf, it goes to the next row. And at the starting of this line, I have stated that my program will return an integer value. So I have mentioned it as int main here. So if you use int main, you have to use return 0. So int main, in the sense, the program will consist of an integers, and the output of the program will be also an integer. So in order to note that, you have to return 0. 0 is also an integer, so return 0, it should be there. So if you are doing matrix multiplication or division, you can use this as a prerequisite. If you are using the difference of the two matrix, simply instead of plus, you can put minus, and you can calculate the difference of matrix subtraction. Thank you guys. Thank you for this lecture.